Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have confirmed that they have received planning permission to hold up to 30 major non-football events each year, including concerts, rugby, boxing and NFL. The Daily Mail stated that Sergio Reguilón has turned down various clubs as he wants to join a club in Europe. Spurs are being linked to Issa Kaboré. Ange Postecoglou and Ben Davies had their press conference on Friday ahead of Saturday's pre-season friendly against Bayern Munich in Seoul, South Korea. Reports in Italy are stating that AC Milan and Spurs are now close to agreeing a £20 million deal for Emerson Royale. Football.London have stated that Spurs are currently interested in 3 forwards. Gyökeres, that will be difficult to get done. David will cost £25 million and Solanke has a £65 million release clause. Ange Postecoglou has spoken out about the transfer window and said, "I don't think we will get it all done in this window. It's a difficult time. I've got the least control over decisions. We've done hell of a lot already though, and the squad is stronger now for next season."
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs winning. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with all of the official news. Now, the Tottenham Hotspur squad trained for the penultimate time in Seoul, South Korea on Friday the 2nd of August, with full focus on our concluding pre-season tour fixture against Bayern Munich on Saturday. Having made it 4 wins from 4 so far in the 2024-2025 pre-season, with a 4-3 win over Team K League at Seoul World Cup Stadium in midweek, the players got back to work in the typically hot and humid conditions in South Korea ahead of facing the German side in the same venue. Saturday's Kupang Play Series encounter is the first of 2 friendlies against the Bundesliga outfit this summer, with the second scheduled a week later on Saturday, the 10th of August at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur boss Ange Postecoglou and Spurs defender Ben Davies completed the press conference on Friday ahead of Saturday's game. The full press conference will be put in at the end of this episode. On Friday, the Premier League 2 fixtures were confirmed. The under-21s will begin their defence of the Premier League 2 title with a trip to Chelsea. The domestic fixture list for the new campaign at under-21 level has been revealed, with Wayne Burnett's side set to visit Kings Meadow on Friday the 16th of August. Our first home game follows on Saturday the 25th of August against Newcastle United. The Premier League 2 will follow the same format as last term, with each team playing 20 regular season matches against different clubs either at home or away, with the top 16 sides in the overall 26-team league advancing to the playoff stage in the closing weeks of the campaign to determine the overall winners. Also on Friday, the under-18 Premier League fixtures were confirmed. The under-18s will begin the 2024-2025 season with a home match against Crystal Palace. Stuart Lewis's side are set to host the Eagles on Saturday, the 17th of August. The first away game follows a week later as we make the trip to Hotspur Park to face Fulham. It has also been announced that Stuart Lewis's team will also once again enter the FA Youth Cup, Under-18 Premier League Cup and Under-17 League Cup this season, with fixtures to be confirmed in due course. On Friday morning, it was officially announced by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club that the club have received planning permission to increase the number of major non-football events at the stadium. The club is delighted to announce that a resolution to grant planning permission to allow up to 30 major non-football events at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium per calendar year, subject to the S106 agreement, was passed by Haringey Council on Thursday. The decision enables the stadium to host up to 30 major non-football events per year, including concerts, rugby, boxing and NFL. It follows an extensive consultation carried out by the club with local residents and businesses. As part of the application, the club made a series of commitments in response to resident and business feedback. The club will maintain its hugely popular community ticket scheme, ensuring local residents and community organisations continue to have the opportunity to experience events at the stadium through the provision of complimentary tickets. Tottenham Hotspur boss Ange Postecoglou has been talking about the transfer window. He has stated, "I don't think we'll get it all done in this window. I've never believed in quick fixes, and I think that I've said before that it would have been great if we had got all of our business done already, but I've always maintained a discipline not to go off and sort of get too emotional through these times." It's a difficult time. This is the part of the season where I've probably got the least control over decisions, and I've learned to stay disciplined and make sure that we do what we set out to do. We've added the two young guys, but I think also there has been growth from the other guys from last year, which naturally makes us stronger this year. Obviously, we've still got a hand in this window, but I think that we will go beyond this window. This wasn't just tinkering around the edges when I took over. It needed a big shift from where I was. I was just thinking about last season's pre-season. I reckon 50% of the people who were on that tour are probably not here now. So we've already done hell of a lot, and we don't need to do that much now. But I still think there is, because it's not just about having success one year. What you're trying to build is hopefully another cycle of success, and I think that will take a bit longer. A report has just been published by the Daily Mail, and they are stating that Tottenham Hotspur defender Sergio Reguilón wants European football next season after falling out of favour at Spurs following loan spells at Manchester United and Brentford. The left-back has attracted interest from several sides, but has not accepted any of the offers. The 27-year-old can leave after falling out of favour under Postecoglou. He spent the back end of last season on loan at Brentford, making 16 appearances. The report from the Daily Mail states that Spurs defender Sergio Reguilón is prioritising a move to a club playing in Europe next season as he enters the final 12 months of his contract. The left-back can leave this summer, and he is attracting interest from a number of sides, but the defender has so far opted against accepting the most recent proposals. Reguilón wants to be playing European football next season and is waiting for an opportunity at a club that can provide him with that platform. On Friday, it was reported by the Daily Telegraph that Manchester City fullback Issa Kaboré is a leading contender for Tottenham Hotspur should they sell Emerson Royale in the summer transfer window. Kaboré, 23, is being lined up after impressing at Luton Town on loan. The player is rated at £12 million and he has caught the eye of various clubs. The Daily Telegraph have also stated that Emerson Royale is still pushing for a move away to AC Milan. Reports in Italy today and from the Football Insider in the UK are stating that Tottenham are inching closer to completing the sale of defender Emerson Royale before the window closes. The Italian giants have had a couple of bids knocked back by Spurs for the 25-year-old, but it now appears they are getting closer to what Spurs want. The two clubs are coming close to a £15 million deal that will reach £20 million with add-ons, which Spurs will accept. On Friday, it was reported by Football.London that Spurs at the moment are interested in three forwards: Dominic Solanke, Jonathan David and Victor Gyökeres. Football.London have stated of those three potential signings, Gyökeres, at least on paper, is the best fit for Tottenham, but unfortunately his price tag makes it rather difficult to pursue a move. With that in mind, while David and Solanke do have weaknesses, it is much more likely one of those two is acquired. Lille are open to accepting an offer in the region of £25 million for David as his contract expires in 2025. Dominic Solanke, though, could cost up to £65 million, with that said to be the value of his release clause after he signed a new deal last summer. So next up for Spurs, Bayern Munich in our 5th pre-season friendly. The game will take place on Saturday, 12 noon UK time kickoff, 8 p.m. local time. This is what Ange Postecoglou and Ben Davies had to say ahead of the game in their pre-match press conference.
Looking forward to finishing it off in a positive manner against Bayern tomorrow night, and hopefully another good game for all the supporters to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very good test against one of the best sides in Europe. But these are the teams we want to be matching ourselves up against if we want to get better. And yeah, it's great to be out here playing in Seoul in front of the amazing fans we have here. Harry's a world-class player, so I think any team that is going to lose him is going to feel it for a bit. But I think we adapted really well as a team. We built a strong squad here with lots of good players, and in football you have to move on sometimes, and that's what we did. And I think it's taken a lot of people and it's given them some good chances to step up, and I think that's what we've seen with our team.
Yeah, look, it is. You're right. It is a challenge this time of the year. I've experienced it myself. Working in Japan, and but at the same time, I think it's a good challenge for the players mentally as much as anything else to adjust to the conditions, to still work hard at training, still try and play our football during the practice games we've had. So, I think at times it's been really difficult, but they've pushed through, and I think we'll get the benefits of that when we get back to London. And they're having a heat wave now, and it's 24 degrees, so my boys will be pretty relaxed about that. And I think mentally we'll come out of this stronger, knowing that in tough conditions they still manage to work hard. And like I said, the games have shown that we can still perform at a good level.
Firstly, when you come to places like Seoul and you see the reaction of the fans and how much support they bring to the team, it's very humbling. It makes you feel incredibly grateful for the support we get all around the world, but especially here in Korea, because our biggest interaction is usually just with the fans in the stadium. But for us to come and realize what we also get away from the pitch it's incredible. So we're very grateful every time we come here. And secondly, squads in football, they change all the time, but at the beginning of every season you feel very optimistic that you can do something special going forward. And this year we've been training hard now for a couple of weeks, but you see the quality we have, you see the young guys and the energy that they can bring to this team, and we feel very confident as a group this year.
Yeah, look, I don't think it'll be too challenging, because they've only both of them sort of had 3 weeks off, and both Mickey and Kuti and Rodrigo will be back all this week. They had sort of good preparations coming into it, and we know they'll be looking after themselves. And we've still got 2 weeks before the season starts, so that's still a fair chunk of time for us to get them ready for the start of the season and beyond, because it's not just about the first game, it's about the games after that. And we've seen how the guys who maybe have come in a bit later, like Rad, who came in this week, within a few sessions they're back up to speed, and I expect the other guys to be the same.
Firstly, it's great to see Eric playing regularly again, and it's good that he got the move that he wanted, because he's a good friend of mine and he's playing again at the highest level, so it'll be great to see him tomorrow. And secondly, look, that's not been on my mind at all so far. I've enjoyed the 10 years here so far, and hopefully it can continue that way.
Yeah, look, that's not really my area. What I always do and what I've always done is, irrespective of the contract situation of players, is to treat them all the same. And Ben and Sonny are an important part of this football club. We've got a really young team at the moment, and we need some good experienced players around them. And they're two that certainly set the right example. And in terms of contracts, I think that'll all get sorted out at the appropriate time. And but from my perspective, and I think the players' perspectives themselves, we're just focused on preparing for a big year. Oh, look, it's a game of football. It's not a tennis match, so it's 11v11. I'm sure Sonny will enjoy the challenge of playing against his national team teammate, but at the same time, knowing what Sonny's like, he'll be focused on making sure that we as a team, perform at a good level and keep progressing and against a very good opponent. We've got a lot of very good players.
Sonny's going to be preparing for this game like every other one, and that's to perform the best for the team. And not worrying too much about who he's going to be up against. So they're two excellent players, but the game gets treated like every other one.
Yeah, look, I just think they're a good opportunity for us against a very good opponent to, extend the work we've done in pre-season already and put it to practice in games. I think there'll be two different games here and in London. I think the conditions here will play a part tomorrow, obviously. But like I said, for us, it's just a really good opportunity against a quality opponent to get ready for our first game against Leicester, which is a week later.
Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about the transfer window. Of course, all of us expected, or most of us expected, Ange Postecoglou to get signings in early as he requested. It's fair to say that in the two transfer windows he's had at the football club so far, he has been backed and he has got the players in that he wanted, and he's offloaded a number of players. He said that himself today. 50% of staff or players have gone out the door since he has arrived. I think the club have done extremely well on that front. However, we are now on the 2nd of August. We've got our first Premier League game in just a couple of weeks' time. Of course, we've got the two Bayern Munich friendlies first. We all as fans, and I think Ange Postecoglou expected, the first team signings to come in. I know we've signed a couple of 18-year-olds. Archie Gray looks absolutely fantastic. Bergvall, of course, looks great. We've signed Timo Werner on loan for the season. But, of course, I think we all know, the future looks great. The future looks very bright, and the young players look extremely promising. But, of course, we all know deep down that we need depth in this squad, and we need real quality. We need some experience in there as well if we want to move on to that next level. If we don't want to move on to that next level, then I'm sure that we will have a fairly decent season. Some people would say average. I'd say fairly decent season. If we want to push on, if we want to be playing Champions League and perhaps even, compete for a trophy, and Ange Postecoglou on so many occasions has said, we want to be title contenders. In 12 months' time, we want to be title contenders. If we want to be title contenders, we need to start acting pretty quick and getting some decent players in that Ange Postecoglou can work with. Because, of course, the pre-season tour is very, very nearly over. Once that game against Bayern Munich is played, all of the squad, Ange Postecoglou and the squad, will be heading back to London. And then, of course, we face Bayern Munich again next Saturday, where hopefully we will see Harry Kane back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A lot of people will like to see that. But Ange, on transfers, I think that he is probably quite frustrated with not having much movement in this transfer window. I know he's come out and said that we're in a stronger place and, there's been some growth by some of these players. I think there has been growth with some players, but we have just offloaded Højbjerg, and, we are just about to offload Emerson Royale as well. And, some people would say, a lot of people who actually watch and listen to this channel on a regular basis, a lot of people say it because I do read every comment, oh, well, they're not very good anyway. You've got to think, back to last season, how many games those two players played and how many times they fitted in because they had to, because we needed them. We need depth in this squad, and we are playing in more competitions this coming season. I don't want to sit here and start ranting and raving saying, oh, this isn't good enough, because we do have 4 weeks left. I am having a bit of balance here because I think that, the transfer window, sometimes, and I've seen this so often before in recent years, where people are so angry and disappointed about what we haven't done, and then there is still time left of the window, and then we've signed some players, and then the mood changes extremely quickly. I don't know what way this is going to go. Of course, I would rather give my true opinion on what I think of the transfer window in 4 weeks' time at the end of the window. However, the season is just around the corner. The season is 2 weeks away. And I think we have a very, very important 2 weeks coming up, because if the season was to start tomorrow and we have this squad, or we don't sign anyone in the next 2 weeks and the season starts, I think we are going to struggle in certain games. And, we want to be going into the brand new season as optimistic as Ange Postecoglou has been about transfer windows and about the players that he has clearly identified and wants, but it hasn't materialised yet. Now, all of the reports coming out, and I've had this debate with many people on the channel as well, about forwards. What forwards do you go after? Jonathan David is available, £25 million. Solanke, £65 million. Gyökeres, apparently that one is going to be very difficult to get done. So it is going to be an interesting situation. Spurs do need to go out and sign a striker. Ange Postecoglou has even come out and said that today himself. We need to go out and sign a striker because that is where we are the most thinnest in the squad. So we do need additions. We do need them in quickly before the start of the season in an ideal world. But the 30th of August, time is ticking. We've got 4 weeks. And, in my opinion, I think we've still got so much to do in this transfer window. I do get some of Ange's comments, and I've seen some of the fans' comments already on social media. People are quite frustrated with what Ange has come out and said. But I do get some of the comments he said. The squad has changed a lot. 50% of the people have gone out the door. But we do need to replace these people, whether they're players, coaching staff, or whatever, behind the scenes employees. A lot has changed at the football club, but we do need it to change for the better on the pitch. As I say, the mood can change very quickly. Suddenly, if Spurs sign one or two decent players in the next couple of weeks, then everyone's going to be feeling very optimistic again. But some of these comments, I feel like we've heard before from various other managers, and me included. I think that a lot of people felt that this might be a little bit different this time. And bearing in mind, when you look back at the 2 transfer windows so far under Ange, the transfer business was done early. And we know that Ange Postecoglou, I think he's very demanding. And I think that rightly so, he's demanding. If you want to take a club to the next level, a lot needs to change. Yes, you can keep getting rid of players and offloading players, but the squad is quite thin. When you really look at it, a couple of injuries to this team, to this squad right now, we're going to be in deep trouble. We saw that last year. So even if Spurs sign 2 or 3 players now, I don't think it's enough. Because we're offloading all of these players. I've just mentioned Emerson Royale and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. They played a lot of games last season. Emerson was filling in at centre-back when we had injury suspensions and so on. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was the most used sub under Postecoglou last season. And he shored up the defensive side of our game in so many games. So I think there is a lot to do. Andrew said we've done a hell of a lot already. Yes, we have, but we need to do more. I think that the club need to work a little bit harder, certainly in the next couple of weeks, because if we do want to be challenging for a European spot, i.e. the Champions League, I think we are a million miles away from that at the moment. And I also think we're a million miles away from competing for the Premier League, because, I always say this about, I'd love to see it in my lifetime, Spurs actually win a Premier League title. If we want any chance of that, we need to go out, identify the players, go out and just get these deals done. But Ange, for me, I think he's probably quite frustrated because he probably felt that some of these deals were going to be done a lot earlier, sooner, and so he could start integrating these players into his system, his way, his pre-season. We've got, after Saturday, we've got one pre-season friendly left, and that's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So a huge couple of weeks coming up. As I say, I'm not going to get that angry about it because I'll review the transfer window in 4 weeks' time. I know I've seen online some people are stressing out big time, and some people are remaining very calm and are optimistic for all of these young players. I think the young players have done exceptionally well, and I'm actually going to include Jed Spence in that, because even Ange come out today and said that he does have a chance at Spurs. He does have a future at Spurs, and he has been very impressed with his attitude and the way that he's adapted himself in training and the game time that he's been given. So it's great in that respect. But we do still need to go out and strengthen, and we still need to go out, identify, the top targets. Ange has spoken out so often, particularly in the last couple of weeks, saying that, there's no point, going out and signing anyone. They've got to be the right players. I absolutely agree, but surely there was a plan in place, not to get to this point, in the first week of August, and us not have any, statement signings, if you like. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.